All right, let me give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes look at what my process is. Normally what I do to upload cards in bulk is use file exchange, but the problem with that is that when I do that, I only show fronts of the cards, and oftentimes that's perfectly fine because, well, there's not really anything special on the back if the card is near mint to mint. You don't really need to see too much. With vintage though, you'll see that that might not be the case. So what I have here is I've put the cards in binders, and I didn't buy these binder sheets. I've had these for a long time. They're still nice and clear. What I'm basically doing is I'm taking these and I'm taking them and putting them here in my little scanner. And it's just a flatbed scanner. So what I'll do is I'll scan the images onto my computer. It'll give you some nice high resolution images. Now I can do this pretty quickly on these, and in terms of actually uploading to eBay, I'm pretty quick at typing them out. Is it as fast as file exchange? No. And because of that, what I'm really trying to do is stick to cards that are $3 and above in terms of what I'm listing. So this will be a bit of a trial run here to see how long it takes. If it's just a little bit too inefficient doing it this way, then perhaps I'll find another way to do it. But that's kind of what I'm working with. If it's not going into these binders, what I'm kind of doing is starting a vintage value box, so to speak. And you'll see here, I've got the DB on the stickers, stands for Dave's Basement. I put the stickers on the penny sleeves just in case people want to keep the top loaders. You don't have to peel the stickers off the top loaders, you just replace the sleeve. So these are some of the cards I showed off before. And what I'm going to do is have a $1 box, a $2 vintage box, etc., etc. In terms of the commons, if they're not in the best shape, they might be in like a 2 for $1 box. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with those yet, but right now I'm just dabbling with some higher end cards, or excuse me, some of like the better cards that I pull out. They're not necessarily high end. I mean, you can see here, these are only $1 or $2 a piece, and as are these high numbers here. But that's really what the game plan is. And again, I want to work on a lot of the sets early on because they take up most of the space, but I do want to get a variety up there just so I can have an idea of what is working and what is not working when I get to the later stages, and see what's selling and what I might need to change up how I'm approaching it. One other thing I want to say is that I did find this. This is a 77 O-Peachy set. I'm the one who put it in the binder, and it's a near complete set. The Fidget Rookie is in here, but there's just a couple of little empty spots. I'll see if I come across any of them as I thumb through here. There's a Fidget right there. But you'll see here, they're in pretty good shape. There are some that are miscut, but unfortunately it is missing what I would assume to be kind of the last series, and then it's also missing 1 or 2 cards. So I have some work to do in terms of tracking those down, but I also kind of have this in a binder, and this is something that will be kind of a work in progress, right? I don't want to go out and buy the cards that I need just because chances are there's probably some more in a box somewhere. And I kind of have this noted on my spreadsheet, like, hey, I have the start of a 90 or a, excuse me, a 77 O-Peachy set. I just need a few cards, and I should be on the lookout for those cards. That's kind of one of the things I'm doing here, is as I find pieces of certain things that I know I have, or at least have a suspicion that I might see more of later on down the line, I will kind of set it aside and then try to combine pieces when necessary and when applicable at a later stage. But figured I would give you a little bit of a behind the scenes look of how I'm actually getting some of these into the store and how my sorting process is working here in the early goings, at least. A couple more boxes here. This one will look kind of similar to something I showed in volume 2. 287 Topps Don Mattingly's and 600 Wade Boggs. So shout out to John Wade Boggs fan. And yeah, they're in here. I didn't count them up, but you can see there's Mattingly. There's Mattingly. There's some Boggs in there. This is all 87 Topps Wade Boggs in there. I have no idea what the best way is to move all those. I'll probably lot them up. I don't know how big of lot size to do yet. I'm kind of experimenting with the different lot sizes on some of these cards that I have in bulk, rather than just piecing each individual one out, because, well, it take quite a while to find 600 people to buy 87 Topps Wade Boggs. I thought this note was interesting that came with it. Here's the line right here that I thought was fun. We also apologize for any delay in filling orders this year, as we sure you realize Topps is extremely late in supplying cards this year. Where does that sound familiar with? Didn't we just get 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum anniversary in? So not much has changed in the 35 years since then. And then here's another mystery box here. This looks like a leaf set. Yeah, some leaf in here. 92 leaf. Don't know if this is a full set or not, but would be great if it was. It does look like it is, just based on it. Or it's just certain stars, but yeah, this one was unmarked. So no vintage in this one, just some 90s leaf. Okay, I'm going through this stack of programs, and I might have actually found what is my favorite piece so far in the collection. But I wanted to show off a couple of things. First off, these ticket stubs. This is from a Chiefs game in '86 against the Chargers, kind of a thriller. Looked it up. 42-41 Chiefs. A game that they won the turnover battle, and that's how they won the game, because they were outgained by the Chargers by over 300 yards, I think. But the Chargers had 5 turnovers, the Chiefs only had 1. When you go -4 in the turnover department, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. And then these are kind of cool here. This is from the 1981 American League Division Series. And this is the first time in MLB history that the playoffs had a divisional series. They wouldn't do it again until after 1994, when there was a strike and there was realignment in the divisions to have kind of similar to what we have today, or what we had for pretty much 2 decades, where there was 3 division winners and a wild card. But what happened is that in '81, you have another strike-shortened season. And during that season, the season was basically split into 2 halves. So there was a division winner for the first half and a division winner for the second half. And the Royals in the Western Division of the American League were only one of 2 teams that had a winning record. The other team was the team that they played in this divisional series, Oakland, who won the division in the first half of the year. But the Royals were actually 20-30 in the first half of the season before the strike, meaning that they won, I guess, the second half of the division and made it to the playoffs with a losing record that year. Now the A's took care of business in the division series. They won 3 games to none, including these first 2 here at Kauffman Stadium. But kind of cool here, these are tickets scattered throughout Game 1 and Game 2. Look at these prices here. We'd love to go to a game for that price these days. Now onto the programs. Like I said, there's a lot of programs in here, a lot of cool stuff that maybe I need to go through in a separate video. But, I mean, there's all-star game programs. I think there's a Pro Bowl program in there. There's this cool poster. I know that Mike is going to want this one here, the Perez Steel Ty Cobb. This one is one of the more unusual ones in there. It's kind of out of place. Most of them are from the 60s and 70s and some like early 80s stuff. But here's the 98 Western Conference semifinals. A guide here with the Dallas Stars on the front. The only hockey one of its kind. But this one, when I saw it, I'm like, hang on one second here. Los Angeles Coliseum, 1967. World Championship game, AFL versus NFL. And a lot of you probably know where I'm going with this. This is a program from the first ever Super Bowl. It is in this magazine top loader here, so I'm not going to take it out. It's in pretty good shape. I didn't know this, but they actually do program grading through CGC, which is you guys know them for cards probably, and also for comics. I didn't know that they did programs as well. Maybe this is something that I might send into them. I have no doubts about its authenticity, but it might be cool to kind of get it graded. I've never graded a comic or a program for that matter before, so that would be kind of a cool thing possibly to explore. But yeah, when I saw this, I'm like, hang on one second, is this what I think it is? And yeah, so first ever Super Bowl, as it became known, but here World Championship game, the merger between the AFL and the NFL, Packers and Chiefs in that game here, and really cool kind of like up close. I can't tell if this is like wood or some kind of like metal like statue of a football player on the front, the kind of old school classic $1 program back in the day. This is a piece that is just really sweet. I kind of thumbed through it to see there's like no missing pages or anything on there. You can see there's like a little bit of staining on the back. There's an old ad for a color TV set here too. This is just so cool. So yeah, I mean, this right here, hands down, is my favorite piece that I have found so far. This is just awesome. I can't imagine what else might be in store as I go through some more of these, but I had to take a little clip of this one. All right, starting a new week, Monday, August 21st. Still working through the programs this morning, and I found this, which is a little bit different. This is a scorecard. It does say souvenir program here, but no, actually just a scorecard. There's no other biography or anything in there. And this is a scored game between the Cardinals and the Phillies. I have found this game on Baseball Reference. It was August 6th of 1953, but you'll see that there are 4 signatures on it. And this is the trickier part, is identifying the signatures. Now, this top one right here in the bottom section, I know for a fact is Harvey Haddock's. That one I think is the most obvious of the 4. This one up here, I'm not sure. I know I have seen this signature many times before. I'm probably going to facepalm when I figure out who it is, who I'm forgetting about. But I'm not 100% sure off the bat who this is as of the time of recording. This one here looks like Rob something. I don't see a Rob on either team's roster. I would presume this is a Cardinals only piece based on the next name that I think is on here. Maybe this is a broadcaster. Maybe this is an assistant coach, someone who wouldn't appear in some of the more obvious places on Baseball Reference. But I'm a bit perplexed as to this one. At first, I thought it was Robin Roberts, since he was pitching for the Phillies at this time, which would be cool since you'd be adding a Hall of Famer to here. But I don't know if that would make sense, and this does not look like Robin Roberts' signature. The R's just don't really match up. So, I don't know. I'm a bit perplexed on this one. I'll ask the audience here, what do you guys think about these two? Who do you think they are? Now, the last one I have a pretty good idea on, and the signature doesn't line up too well from what I have seen otherwise, but this to me looks like it's Harry Carey, which would be awesome. That would make this piece, I feel like, a lot more appealing overall. Not that it's not cool already, especially with the signatures and the fact that it's a scorecard from 1953, but man, that would be really sweet to have a Harry Carey autograph on there. The last name looks pretty spot on compared to some of the other ones I've seen. It's this first name that I just don't really know about. I mean, that kind of looks like an H to me, but it doesn't necessarily line up with a lot of his signatures. But then again, I've seen a lot of variants in his signatures. Perhaps this is how he signed his name during this time because signatures change. I don't know for sure, but as you can see on my little post-it note here, I got the second one is Harvey Haddock's. I'm pretty sure the bottom one is Harry Carey. I got the date of the game. But trying to fill in the blanks here on this, but hey, that's part of the fun, right? This is one that is going to take a little bit more work on this piece here. But figured I'd share and see if I can get an opinion here from the audience on who do you guys think these signatures are? Let me know. I imagine this will be the last clip of the video since I'm guessing, nearing the 20-minute mark. I thought I had a lot of programs before. Here's another box full of magazines and programs. So there's a lot mixed in here. I mean, there are score books in here. You can see that they're filled out. I would have to take a look and try to figure out what those are from. That's going to be for another day here. Here's a softball one. These might not even be professional. They could be collegiate. It could be interscholastic. I'm not sure. But we have a lot of Sports Illustrateds in here. Here's one, Cardinals World Series champs from 1968. Here is Twins, 1969. Another 1969, Reggie Jackson. Cassius Clay. So a lot from 1969 here. There's Ted Williams, as manager of the Senators. 72. I won't go through all of them here, but a lot of these old SIs, very collectible. Some of them in better shape. There's Reggie Jackson's second appearance already. Yeah, there is just a ton of these magazines in here. Now, these weren't top-loaded like the other ones, so I have no idea if maybe some of these, just thumbing through them, gonna be not as good as the other ones that I found earlier, but a lot of it kind of looks the same. I mean, like this Royals yearbook, there's a basketball coaching book, more basketball, 74 betting guide. That might be more relevant today. That's coins. I like this yearbook. That's sweet. With the Kaufman scoreboard in the background. That is pretty cool. I do like that. Chiefs. Here's a mantle on the cover of this sport magazine. But Willie Mays right behind him. Here we go. Colavito and K1. Can dig that. Yeah, these are from the 50s. This is November of 57 here. March of 58. Man, there's just so much here. Here's a Hank Aaron Sports Illustrated from 1969. And judging by the labels on these, this was previous owners. I'm guessing that someone had these in a collection, and this was a collection that was purchased. So, I mean, there's another mantle down in there. There are just so many magazines in here. This one is going to take a little bit to go through, but yeah, today I guess was the publication day for all that I'm going through right now. So I'm going to keep going through these magazines, and I'll probably have even more to show off in the next video, but I think this is a good place to stop for today, recording-wise. I'll have to pick it up again in part 4. All right, everyone, hope you're enjoying the series. Take care, stay safe, be kind.